Hello, my friends. How are you doing? A lot going on today. When I say today, I'm talking about in our time, so to speak. And I want to talk about something that's kind of been pressing on my mind, something that I've been feeling, something that you may have been feeling. And let me just ask you, can you feel it? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're probably not feeling it. But if you're feeling it, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I know that sounds bizarre probably to some folks. If you're not feeling it, it's not a big deal. You might be feeling it, but you're just distracted a little bit. So, what the heck am I talking about, right? What I'm talking about is the call or I'm not sure if I can think of the right word for it, but the call to step up to help humanity in this transition, in this time of shift. It's time, my friends. If you're a UFC fan, have you ever heard Bruce Buffer? It's time. That's kind of how I'm feeling, my friends. We're in transition. There's a huge spiritual awakening going. It's the Great Awakening, but it's not the one that the politicians were talking about. It's a time for humanity to step forward and evolve. Okay. To do this, people need to step into their callings. Oh, if you were feeling like you needed to do something to help humanity, now's the time to do it. If you don't know what to do, whatever it may be, that's the reason that I started this channel. Actually, this channel's been around a long time, but I've started the channel in the direction that it's going right now, and talking about all the things that are facing the lights of humanity, if you will, or the light workers, as some people call them. And they're from every walk of life, from all the religions, from all the different spirituality disciplines, and from the science disciplines. This is a quantum life awakening, my friends. Okay, a spiritual awakening. And it's time to step up. If you're feeling like, gee, what can I do? Well, start a YouTube channel for one, or a TikTok channel, or whatever you're on, or Instagram, or even a Facebook page. That's one way to reach people that we didn't have just, 20, 30 years ago. And if you're wondering, like, well, gee, what difference is it going to make? It makes a difference because we all matter. I just read an analogy in Tom Campbell's book, which I'm reading, called My Big Toe. And toe stands for Theory of Everything. And it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. He gave an analogy of, like, okay, well, first let me preface it with saying that he speaks of our life and physical reality as us being a subset of a greater consciousness, the big consciousness, and then we're little individuated consciousnesses. And in some respects, yeah, we don't, the big consciousness is not paying attention to us. And he gives the analogy of like your gut bacteria. He said your gut bacteria is very important, but do you sit there and pay attention to every little thing that each and every bacteria is doing? No, you don't. And you're the big consciousness, so to speak, in that situation. And it's sort of a crude analogy, but it works. We're the ones that have to accomplish what it is our mission to accomplish. And so, what is that? Our mission is to grow the greater consciousness. That's why we're all important. That's why all the gut bacteria in your gut is important to the whole body, so to speak. So, that's what we're doing here, kind of. Like I said, a bit of a crude analogy maybe for some, but I think it makes the point at least. And if it doesn't, let me know in the comments what you think. And give me a better analogy or give me your analogy. That doesn't necessarily mean it's better or it's worse. Just give me, there's a lot of good analogies out there. And I refer to us as unique expressions of the one or God or the source, if you will. And we're doing our part. We all need to do our part to expand the greater consciousness. And so we're either expanding it or we're contracting it. Okay? And so when we do stupid stuff and we war and we fight with each other, we're contracting it. We're regressing. When we expand in love and help and kindness and gentleness and meekness and so on, all the Beatitudes in the Bible, right? Matthew 5. Go read them if you're into the Bible or you have the Christian background like I do. If we do all these things, we're expanding the consciousness into a greater consciousness. And humanity is at a turning point, at a crossroads, where we're trying to move into the golden age. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take. Some people say it could take, 5, 10, 20 years, could take another 100 years, but it has to start. And I believe it's been started for a long time. But a lot of humanity is still stuck in what I might call the lower consciousness or the lower vibration and fighting with each other and resisting everything and and we're focused on what we don't want instead of what we do want. As Buckminster Fuller has said, you don't get rid of the old paradigm or the old system by fighting with it. You create a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And how do we do that? We do that by not engaging in the ugliness and in the division. And I talked about this in my last video. In fact, my last video was focused on this. And so this is sort of a continuation of that. But part of that is people not stepping up to what they're feeling. So, and maybe you're just distracted and you think, oh, I'm not feeling anything. But you are. I guarantee you the call has been made to all those who are here. And we all are in a sense, but some people have come into this lifetime specifically to help with this transition. Okay, so I encourage you to sit in silence or meditate or pray and ask, what is it I can do? And am I called? And there's a scripture that says, many are called, but few are chosen. And most people believe that that means that God is choosing somebody and he'll let you know. Well, no, that's not what it means. It means that you choose to step up and help humanity just in your sphere of influence. You don't have to do anything great. You don't have to be a great influencer with 1 million followers. You know, I don't even have 300 followers on this channel. I hope to have more. I would love to have 50,000, 100,000. But if I can only help, you know, a few thousand or a couple hundred, I'm doing my part. I'm doing what I can. It doesn't matter to me anymore. But it doesn't anymore. I'm just making these videos and I'm going to be moving into doing some interviews with people and talking about this stuff and seeing where we can go with this. I want to do my part to wake up the planet, to help humanity and get on the bandwagon, so to speak, with the many people who are doing that. And my avenue right now is YouTube. So are you picking up what I'm putting down, as they say? Um, I hate to say it, for my own sake, but I'm getting older and I may not be up with the latest and greatest slang terms of the times. But I think most purple, most people have heard some of the stuff that I use. I suppose it kind of dates me, but I don't care. It's all right. We're all in this thing together. And a lot of the younger people are older souls, so to speak. You've probably heard that term before, which means to me, they've had a lot of experience on this earth in previous lifetimes, maybe more than some of us older folks. And so I don't discount them at all. But us older folks do have a lot of experience on the earth plane in this life. And so we have a few insights that might be worth listening to. And I'm not like the rest of the well, not I shouldn't say the rest of the older folks. I'm not like some of the boomers, as you might call them, and I'm a end of the tail end of the boomers. I was born in 1958, so you can do the math and figure out how old I am. I have said it though on this planet, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I think age is a number, especially in your mind. You know, us older folks in our minds, we're still, in our 20s or 30s, but we find out when we try to do stuff that physically sometimes we're not up to it. And I'm working on that, working on getting back in shape. I think that's the way to stay young is to stay in shape, to eat well and that type of thing. But anyways, I guess I'm sort of rambling. So it is time, my friends, to step up and to help heal and change the planet to the new paradigm, to build the new model. The new model is love, kindness, helping each other out and getting along. Now, that doesn't mean you have to let people walk all over you or take advantage of you, but do it in kindness. I got into a little altercation just the other day, and I was really mad at myself because I let myself get caught up in that resistance thing. Somebody was giving me some grief, and I gave them grief back, and I was mad at myself for doing that. I didn't need to do that. I could have, I didn't have to take what they were giving me, but I could have been kind about calling them out on it. And that's a little key. And I was upset about it for a couple of days. I let it affect my energy for a couple of days. So you see, I'm not perfect. When I talk about some of this stuff, maybe some people think, oh, that's easy for him to say. I have all the same problems and feelings that you have. I have a little bit more experience on controlling it and keeping it under control and trying to let go of those things. And I still think maybe I have some underlying anger that I need to address and release, possibly. I thought I had just recently. If you look at my video where I said I had a crisis, a life-threatening crisis, I was able to release some anger I didn't know I have, but I think maybe there's still some in there that bubbled up in this little situation that I'm talking about. And I'm not going to go into detail. There's no need for that. The point is to be mindful, and I wasn't being mindful. It's easy to fall back into old habits, especially as you get older and you've not even done anything, for many years to change those habits. But I've been working on changing habits for the last 25 to 30 years at least. More so in the last 10 years, I've really been working on it. And I've done very well. And I don't do these things as often, but I get caught off guard every once in a while, just like everybody else. And so I'm asking God or my higher self to help me release this stuff, because we all need some help. That's the other thing. We need some help. And it's okay to ask for help from your higher self, your guides, God, whoever you see as being able to help you, and also from friends and family and loved ones who may be of a similar wavelength or mindset as you. My beautiful wife helps me often, just bouncing things off of her back and forth. She gives me insight. She, it gives her perspective that I may have not thought of, and it's always good to do that. That's one of the reasons I want to start interviewing people. But we're going to talk about um, like child reincarnation, near-death experiences, and spiritual experiences, um, prophecies, you know, uh, channelings, psychics, all these kinds of things. Some of these things I really used to not be into, and I even kind of looked down on some of them. But everybody's doing their thing. Everybody's on their point in the path. Doesn't mean I'm smarter than you or better than you. Maybe I've been at it a little longer than you, or you've been at it a little longer than me, and we can all learn from each other. But we can even learn from children. So especially if there are older souls coming in. One of the reasons I want to interview some of these folks about child reincarnation is, these children say some profound things way beyond their years that we would think. And so obviously they got to learn that somewhere, and they didn't learn it from the TV or video games or anything like that, especially the younger ones, the 3-year-olds that can barely talk. So it's an interesting thing. Tell me what you think, folks. Are you feeling the call? Let me know in the comments if you are. Are you feeling a pull? Are you seeing the changes around you? If you're paying attention to uh, what's the word? This area, this modality, or the spiritual quantum realm. If you're into people like Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, and others, um, if you've read some of those books, if you've read Journey of Souls, by Michael Newton, or Many Lives, Many Masters by, oh boy, I forgot his name, or Dolores Cannon stuff, QHHT practitioners. There's a whole gamut of things out there, and everybody's doing their part to help bring in this new awakening, this new earth, the new earth, if you're into that sort of thing. So you tell me, my friends, you tell me what you're into, what you're wanting to do. Hey, and if you want to be interviewed on this channel, if you have a spiritual experience that you'd like to talk about, or if you have a child who has talked about past lives or what you think is past lives, and you want to talk about it, or you want to be interviewed about it. The interviews will be, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I'll ask questions and we'll go from there. It doesn't have to be that long. If it's not that long, maybe I'll put a couple of interviews on a video. I don't know. I'm figuring this thing out. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there in this space. That's what I wanted to say earlier. If you're in this space, um, there's a lot of people in this space on YouTube and doing this kind of thing, but I don't care. I'm doing my part, my piece. I like the channel Next Level Soul with Alex Ferrer, and if you're into that, I'm using his channel as a bit of a model. But I want to do my own thing. I don't want to be a cookie cutter type of deal. And I'm also into Jeff Mara. I love Jeff Mara. I love how he lets the person talk and doesn't interrupt very much. I know probably from my nature, I'll interrupt probably more than he does, but I'm going to really work at not interrupting and let the people talk and try to ask strategic questions. And I'll probably add a little bit of my own insight here and there, but I don't want to get them off track and get on to it's about me type of thing, because it'll be about them. Although I might have some situations where we just have a discussion, a conversation about something, where we're each adding our own insights and playing off each other. Alex does that a lot, and some people don't like that because they want him to just let the guest talk because they know his story. And so I get that. So there's kind of a fine line there, and I'm going to try to straddle that line too as best as I can. So let me know what you think. If you think that's a good idea, put it in the comments, and we'll go from there. All right, my friends, I think I'm going to sign off for this one. Hope you're having a great day, wherever you are, or evening. Peace out, my friends.